We're here today to discuss the legalization of marijuana. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Felicia.
Melody.
Teresa.
Sarah.
Joe.
Kate.
My name is Kelsey. Since we have many views on marijuana, would you like to state your view on the legalization?
I mean, you could smoke weed every now and then. I think it's all right. You know what I mean? Because, like, it doesn't hurt you. I don't think it's going to hurt you as much as it's going to help you because it's kind of like alcohol. You can use it sometimes, recreational use.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
Melody?
I am against it because it gives children the reason to just smoke and have a wild time and come home late and be rude to their parents.
I understand that. What about you, Teresa?
I'm against it too. It kills brain cells.
That's a good point. Your view?
I think there are positive aspects as well as negative, because people with medical needs may need to smoke it, but then some people may take it too far. It's a gateway to other drugs. So I'm not really sure if we should legalize it, but then that would make it so we could monitor what they're smoking. So it's a good and a bad thing. I really haven't decided.
Good thought. Very good thought. Joe?
Well, I have smoked it and I've experienced it. And it can be good for medical patients or medical people that need it, but then you have other people that wants it, you know, the recreational users that would like to use it all the time. And it can be good for the economy for tax purposes.
Okay. What about you? What's your view?
Well, I think that it can be beneficial, but there are also bad side effects as well. It is associated with a lot of drugs and like drug cartels and people that transport drugs and the whole system of drugs, and it's just really, it's not very good for the economy because it leads to violence and a lot of in small communities, large communities, I don't know what I'm saying.
That's a great point, though. I mean, sometimes it's got to ramble because you just have thoughts and you just keep going. So, Susan?
Sarah.
Sarah,
Yes.
I heard that you work in the medical field.
Yes,
Do
I do.
you get a lot of cases of people being on marijuana?
Yes, we do. There's so many people. They don't just do one drug, though. They have marijuana with 2 to 3 other drugs, and they all mix it in a big cocktail. And that can be a problem when you can't control and just stay with marijuana, because it lowers their inhibitions and they want to try everything.
That's a good thought. So, Felicia, you work in a daycare,
Right.
and you have multiple parents coming in.
Right.
Do you ever suspect some of them are on drugs or doing something they shouldn't be?
Oh, yeah. All the time. But, you know, I'm not for weed giving parents excuses to be bad parents. I just think that if you are responsible enough to drink, you can be responsible enough to smoke weed, just don't drive. I mean, the same rules apply as when you're drinking.
Okay, makes sense. So, now to the welfare and pot idea they have going. I know some states are doing where you have to have a drug test to get on welfare. What are our views on that? We'll start over here.
I feel that while it does have good intents, a lot of the welfare goes towards children, and so if the parents are on drugs, then that could disqualify the whole family from getting welfare, and then the children would be out of luck, and they would be without food, without basic necessities because of their parents. So while it would be good to try and keep people off drugs, once people are on drugs, the children are really the ones that suffer. But I can understand why they would want to try to discourage people, but it doesn't always work.
That's a good point. Joe?
I think they shouldn't test everyone gets welfare, and if they are doing drugs, they should take them off welfare and put their children in other people's hands.
Amen.
Good point. Good point.
I think they should take away their money. If they can't work and get a job and buy their own drugs and they're going to live off of government money, they need to be spending that money for taking care of their kids. So yes, I think they should test every single one of them.
Okay. Do you have a viewpoint on it?
I think they should test them too.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I do agree that they should test them because if you think about it, when they come out through your checkout line, they're not buying the fruits and vegetables. They're buying Hot Pockets and pizza rolls.
Because they get all the name brand stuff.
They do, and it's not helping the kids, and none of their family's healthy.
Felicia?
You gotta drug test them because chances are they're not even buying food with that. They're selling their food stamps cards to buy to get money. Say, hey, I got $100 on this. I'll sell it to you for $50. And then you get $100 in food, I get $50. I'm gonna go buy drugs. I don't care about my kids anyways because I'm smoking crack.
Well, there's a good free point I didn't think about. So, we know some states have legalized marijuana. Would you, if you were to go to one of those states, would you be offended by people smoking pot, or would you just not care that they're smoking?
I mean, like I said, I don't mind smoking weed every now and then. I mean, recreational thing, like you're at a party, I'm 20 years old, smoke weed, have a beer or two. But
So it wouldn't bother you if you
No, not
smoked
at all.
weed out in the open?
no.
It's okay in their states, but in our state it's not. But if I was to go to that state, I mean, just saying, if there's a good music festival, I'm probably going to have one in my hand. But it's okay there.
Amen.
You got a viewpoint on it?
I mean, if it's legal, then smoke it.
All right. Sarah?
That would be each individual's choice, and I wouldn't have a problem because that's their business owner.
Okay.
Only if it was treated as alcohol and not around kids. They can do what they want.
All right.
All right, Joe.
I feel like there's a lot of social stigma attached to it. Not quite so much as with alcohol because that is more, like people are more okay with that. But with smoking weed, there's more of a social stigma. So people are more apt to look down on people, which isn't right. But if you go to a state where it's legal and you see a lot of people smoking, then a lot of people would assume that they don't have professional careers or they don't contribute to society, which isn't true, but there is that social stigma associated with it no matter where you are when you smoke it. So that would be an issue, I feel like, whether it was legal or not.
Good point. Good point. Well, I know some people use it as a relaxant, so they can relax after a hard day at work. How do you feel about that? Do you think they should use it, or do you think they should find another way to relax? Other than
I mean, if that's how you relax, weed's kind of like weed is a downer. It chills you out. So, I mean, if that's what you need to do, as long as you're not causing any harm to anybody else, you're not smoking it in front of a baby, no kids involved. I mean, it's your lungs. Go for it.
I say pick a different hobby. There's crocheting, Netflix, stamp book. Do whatever your heart desires.
okay,
Find something else to do. Watch TV.
Go
Go
to
to sleep.
go for a run.
Yeah.
You do that. Sarah?
I personally wouldn't choose that to relax because it kills brain cells, and I only have so many. I like to keep them all, but at the same time, it would be their personal choice again.
Joe?
Yeah, very personal choice, it's right. It's like smoking a joint or drinking a beer or having a mixed drink after work, It's your choice as long as you do it in your own space.
Nice.
I feel like there could be more productive hobbies to partake in, but if that's what you feel like relaxes you after a long day at work, then who am I to tell you you can't do it? But at the same time, for me personally, I would choose something more like an outside something, some other hobby that allow me to create something. But it's to each his own. So, I mean, if that's how you relax, then, go for it. But, use common sense and don't abuse the drug.
So, the legal drinking age is 21, and the legal smoking age is 18. Do you think that they should raise it to 21 to smoke marijuana, or do you think it should stay at 18 to where they can smoke it when they're 18? We'll start on this end.
The reason the legal drinking age is 21 is because an adolescent brain doesn't stop developing until they are 21. And
Okay.
so smoking is just as bad for you as smoking smoking cigarettes is just as bad for you as smoking marijuana because it does kill brain cells and you get a lot of tar with the cigarettes. Cigarettes are not by any means good for you. I feel like they should raise the legal age for that as well. Because I mean, if you're 21, your brain has fully developed. At 18, it hasn't. And so by doing that, you can't, it's not good for your body. You're still growing. And I feel like marijuana should be the same sort of thing. Like it's not good for you, like cigarettes and alcohol. However, if you use it in moderation and you regulate it, then you should be able to partake in it as an adult.
Okay. Joe?
They should be legalized just like drinking. It should be 21. So it should be treated just like drinking. It's the same thing. It's a drug, so it should be treated as alcohol at 21.
I have to agree with the 21 age limit as well, just because you'd be more mature and possibly use it a little bit safer, in moderation, that type of thing. There would be a better chance of that. Not necessarily everyone would do that, but it would be a good idea to wait until they're older and more mature.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with them. I think you should have to be 21 to smoke and drink.
Well, you can go off and fight for our country at the age of 18, so I feel like you should be able to do other stuff, such as smoke weed.
When you're 18. It's a good point.
I totally agree. I mean, because even if the legal age is 21, you're still doing it before you're 21 anyways. So.
Yep.
And it kind of makes you want to do it more, kind of like when your parents tell you not to do something. Kind of makes you want to do something more, like rebel against it. So.
That's true. Anybody have any other thoughts about legalization of marijuana?
I think that if they legalize marijuana, we would get money back because our economy's in such debt anyways. We can tax it. That'd be something else to tax. And people are going to buy it. And then we would get the drug dealers off of the streets. And they could, they could make money for us. It's not hurting nobody. And if they want to do it, they're going to do it anyways. So why not make money off of it?
Anybody have anything to say to that?
I would have to agree. The lower socioeconomic places, they have a lot of drug problems because that is how they create a livelihood. That's how they get money. And if we were to sort of take that away from them, it would steer the drug dealers and people that use that as an avenue for money to, it might steer them towards harder drugs, or it might make them want to become more legalize themselves and become actual dealers, like legal dealers. So I mean, it could be very good for like the ghettos and things like that, for the people that sell illegally. It might give them a chance of becoming real legitimate business people.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it could be good, but at the same time, it is still a drug. So that would be, I mean, the social stigma attached to it and the way people view it, and it is, I mean, it is a drug. So unfortunately, I feel like that would be the only thing that would stop a lot of people, because it has been known for so long to be bad for you and have a lot of bad things associated with it.
Good point.
And you have some good things to go with it. You can tax it. It would go back into your community. But, and again, if you have so many people doing it, then your money's going to go into rehab, because that's where most people are going to be after they do it for so long. It's win, lose, you don't know.
Good thought. Anybody else?
The only good thing, if they did legalize it, then they would have to ensure the purity, and they would know what everything in that drug or in the pot would be. They would know exactly what's in it. It wouldn't be mixed with something, cut with something, so it would all be the same, and maybe it wouldn't hurt people as much. But at least they would know what they were smoking exactly, not just something mixed up in a back room. Because they're going to smoke it anyway. At least give them something that's pure.
Anybody else? Got one last question. So do you think legalizing it would make the crime in the streets go down, from selling pot and all the shootings from drug deals gone bad and all that? Anybody?
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
I think it would cut back on police, DEAs, making drug raids.
anybody else? Any closing thoughts?
I
Of
feel that
marijuana?
the legalization of marijuana is kind of similar to the prohibition of alcohol, because whenever there was the prohibition, you weren't allowed to have it, and so people were doing kind of like they were now, like they were mixing just random household things together to create some sort of alcohol to sell. You didn't know what was in it. It could probably kill you. It could really hurt your body. And it wasn't until it was legalized again that they were able to streamline it and put restriction and regulations on it. And I feel that if they were to take the same way with weed, that it could be beneficial. But not to say that weed still is not good for you, nor is alcohol or cigarettes. But I feel the way that our society is growing, you don't really have a choice. You need to modernize and accept that this is going to happen, but try to make it as safe as possible for the people that will partake.
Good thoughts. Anybody else?
I agree.
You agree?
That was perfect.
Good thoughts. Anybody? No closing thoughts, arguments? Nope. Well, we'll close this group and thank you all for participating. Thank you.
This is another